Okay, friends, I felt like I'd take you on a little field trip today and show you where all of it started, okay? In 2013, made the decision to move to Chicago. I picked this building in Chicago, 400 North Leclerc, and I saw a bunch of places with a realtor. I picked this one. I really loved that it was on the water. And it was just so calming for me, the water. I'd never lived on the water. I'm obsessed with water. I'm a Pisces, so like water. And this building is where I changed my life. Not only did I get certified as a hypnotherapist, I got certified as a real estate agent, and I started my healing journey. I dated a narcissist. I dated a twin flame. He literally is my twin flame. And he shattered me in the best way. And we're gonna talk about it today. Okay, friends, I found some quiet. Let's have some story time, shall we? So, this was 2013. I moved here September 4th, and it was my first apartment. And let me tell you, the first apartment in Chicago, it was so life-changing. It was a studio apartment. I think it was $1,400 a month, which for me at the time was a lot of money. I almost didn't get approval because I had not worked in about a year. My father had fired me the July before, and my last day with him was just like August. So I'd gone 1 year traveling in my car, exploring, trying to figure out who I was because I was so confused. And this wonderful woman, Lori, she has since retired. She actually invited me to her retirement party because she said I was like this special moment for her. But she met me, she toured with me. I told her my story, what happened with my dad, and she just felt so connected and like helping me that she pushed my application through for approval. And I moved into this apartment. I then went to Hawaii with a friend for a few weeks to Maui, Kona, and Oahu, and had so much fun, and came home and met this twin flame in December, got certified for hypnotherapy in April, and became a real estate agent in July. So this apartment, like where I was in 2013, which was 12 years ago, you wouldn't recognize me. If I was sitting on this park bench, right, like my eyes are tearing up. I actually was introduced to MDMA by that twin flame, and I used to take it and sit here by myself in the dark at night just because I was so lost. I was so lonely. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I wanted to be because if you think about it, my father, a narcissist, had been controlling me for my entire life since I moved. I ran away at 14 and moved in with him. Ran away from my mom and stepdad. And from 14 to 28, that 14-year window I worked for him, he had told me, like, you're going to be blonde hair, you're going to wear these dresses, you're going to do this, you're going to work for me for peanuts. I mean, the man paid me like $36,000 a year and told me that I was lucky. He didn't pay me more because then I have to pay more taxes. Like, he was doing me a favor. Like, so mind into believing that I was worthless, that I didn't deserve anything, that my life should just be for his service. I used to do his laundry. I used to have to do his grocery shopping. Like, I literally was like a housemaid for him. And living in the suburbs, no potential for relationships because I was so emotionally and mentally unhinged. I was not healthy. So this apartment started it all. I mean, I met the twin flame. He told me, you should be a realtor. I said, I've always thought about it. But at the time, I was so afraid of letting another man control me because I had just broken free from a man controlling me for 14 years that I resisted this partner and his idea of like becoming a realtor. Even though I had wanted to do it since 17, I didn't want to go to college. I told my dad when I was 17, I want to be a real estate agent. He said, no, you got to go to college. He forced me to go to college. I got a business degree when I was already running a company. I was so bored in business class. I'm like, I'm doing all of this already. Like, I'm literally running his company. Anyways, and he and I broke up because he felt like he was embarrassed by me because I was working at like a shady job at the time and I just wasn't who he wanted to represent him. Total narcissist. And so when we broke up, I was like, I'm going to become a hypnotherapist because I used that when I was in 2007 when I had an ED. I was super skinny and I was modeling a lot. I use hypnotherapy to like help my mindset. And I knew when this whole situation spiraled that like I could use hypnosis to help rewire how I was feeling, how I was afraid of this man, this partnership, this relationship, because deep down I'm a romantic, I'm a Pisces. I so badly want to be loved. I want someone to like shower me in love, and I want to just like drop buckets of love on someone. Like I have so much love to give, and I think when you are neglected of love as a child, you just have so much more that you want to give because you just never received it. And so you people please, you overgive, you overshare, you beg, you chase, you like are coming from such an unhealthy place because you're so needy for love because no one ever gave it to you. That's how I was behaving. But then when I would get a sniff of someone maybe giving me their love, I would be terrified because I knew deep down subconsciously I was not healthy enough to receive this love. I was not healthy enough to have a healthy relationship. So I would self-sabotage it because I knew internally that it would blow up somehow anyways because I wasn't healed, healthy, and whole. So like I would just do dumb things and just blow it up. Like I would intentionally do things that I knew this twin flame wouldn't like, or even unconsciously I would do things that I didn't think that he wouldn't like, but then after I did them I was like, oh, I can see why you wouldn't like that. Like I just was like behaving in such a way, but also like viscerally shaking. I was like shook by this man because he was a representation of my dad. He was like my opportunity to fix and heal the relationship that I had with my father that was like so damaged and deranged and like psychotic, that if this man were to love me and like be in relationship with me, then I would fix or heal that daddy issue, right? Obviously we didn't stay together. He dumped me, shattered me. I started the hypnotherapy training. I literally read this book by Steve Tubman, who I had met, and he was a stage hypnotist at the time. Literally called him on the phone and was like, do you think I could be a great hypnotherapist? He's like, yes. I called a woman, Linda, Link to Linda was her website, and I called her and I was like, do you have any classes? She said, well, I'm starting a class, whatever, in like a week or so. And I said, how much would you need me to pay you to just focus on me and give me an accelerated, this is literally what I said to her, give me an accelerated fast track program of just me, and certify me quickly. I need a job. I have no money. Like I need this. And she was like, let me call you back. She called her husband, called me back. She gave me a price. I was like, done, sold, sign up. I think I started like 2 days later. I drove to the suburbs every day for 8 hours of class, and she taught me how to hypnotize other people. And I was a natural, being an intuitive, being a psychic. I'm going to call myself that. I'm woo-woo psychic. Having that connection to my body and feeling other things and other people made me very good at narrowing, zoning in on what people's pain points are, what they need to work on, what they need to heal, what's hidden in their subconscious they're not consciously aware of. Like I'm really good at meeting people and being like, oh, there was this one time where this one thing happened and like that's why you do this. And they're like, I totally forgot that happened, and that makes absolute sense. And wow, like that's me. That's Lisa. That's my like special capability. That's what I'm on this earth, this planet to do. That's why I do this work. I'm getting all like riled up right now. So I studied the hypnosis. I got certified. I started going to networking events, and people were making fun of me. They were like, what is that? You're gonna control my mind. Woo, you're so scary. Like you're a witch. Like people were very uncomfortable with mindfulness. You know, in 2013, 2014, like it just was like such a non-buzzword, and it isn't what it is today. I mean, we've got like Mel Robbins and Tony Robbins and like Jack Canfield and like all these people talking about like you have limitless potential and like you are in control of your mind. And I just, you know, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Like studying how to be a hypnotherapist helped me to unlock my own mind, because what I would do is I would train with Linda for that 8 hours a day. I would go home. I had gone to the catalyst to all this, and I've told this story before, is I got jumped by the twin flame, went for a walk, a random walk, just like literally left, no nothing. And I walked to the Loop of Chicago, and I randomly ended up at the Washington's Harold Washington Library, which has these beautiful like gargoyles on it. And I didn't even know that was a library. And I walked in and I like wandered to the library floor and I wandered to the self-help books, and I was like, today is the day I change. It just clicks. It's like anything else in your life. Like you just like have to hit like a rock bottom and just click and get activated and know. So if you're feeling called for something, but it's not strong enough, maybe you haven't clicked in yet. But when you feel that click, you know what I'm talking about when you feel that click. You can't stay where you are. Like if you've ever had to break up with someone or quit a job, you know that moment where you're just like, this isn't working and I need to get out of it. I need now. I need to abort now. And that's what happened to me at the library. I was like, I need to abort this old mindset, this old belief, this old behavior now. And I checked out, I got 2 fabric bags worth of books, like brimming, like one on each shoulder. I got a library card on the spot, and I walked home, which is like, I think 2.5 miles, 3 miles, to this building that I just showed you. And after Link to Linda, I would sit with a journal and I would read self-help books, and it would tell me how I was supposed to think. Because if you think about it, when you're in unhealthy relationships, you don't know what a healthy relationship is. You don't know how you're supposed to show up as a partner, what behaviors you should approve and not accept from someone, which boundaries you should place. You have no clue how to behave in that way because you've been mind and manipulated in such a way that you don't know what healthy is. And I kept saying that to therapists. I had a therapist I used to go to across the street. She would get so frustrated with me. Visibly, I could see her frustration. She's like, what are you not getting? This man doesn't want you. And I'm like, but he does. You know, I would just drive her crazy because he's a twin flame and she didn't understand what that was. But anyways, and so I would say to her, like, what is healthy? Like, what does that look like? And she was like, well, you'll know. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. So I would read these self-help books. I would take notes in the journal, and then I would take my phone, my iPhone, I'm filming it on right now. I would record a hypnosis into my iPhone. I would put headphones in and I would take a bath in the dark with candles in my bathroom, and I would self-hypnotize myself. I would hypnotize myself. I would literally reprogram myself on the daily because I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was thinking. I knew how I was behaving wasn't healthy. It wasn't how I wanted to show up. And if I didn't make the changes here was never going to be happy. And so, yeah, I wanted to bring you back because it is my, let's see if it was 2013, it's my 12-year anniversary. I'm 12 years old. This new version of me that you see before you today, like, listen, I'm not kidding. I used to do drugs and sit on this bench. I used to go to bars and like try to make friends in the bathroom with girls and be like, hey, you want to like go do some shots or something? Like, I was so broken and alone and lost and like embarrassing. I made people uncomfortable. I'm embarrassed to tell you how I behaved, but like, it's part of my journey. It's part of who I am. And if you're in a place, if you have any of these characteristics and you're feeling this way, well, this lady's getting a lot on her little microphone, so I gotta go. But thank you for joining. Don't forget to subscribe. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. Thank you for being here if you have been here before, if you've been with my journey over this last like year and a half. I make mindfulness content and I'm here to support you and stand up beside you because I know what it's like to not have anybody standing beside you. And I love you. Bye for now, friends.